Hey, what's going on guys? It's Moto. In today's video, we're going to be fixing the LED pods on my Yamaha TW200. So if you watched my previous video, you will know that my LED pods, the bracket that they are sitting on broke. If you guys can see, the top part of the bracket broke, and this is what the bracket looks like off of the bike. It's a pretty thin piece of metal, nothing too fancy. You know, it's got these little cutouts here, and that kind of weakens the metal, and it happened to crack right over there. And I'm not sure if that's due to vibrations or bumps over time. Obviously, Yamaha wasn't expecting, heavier LED pods like this to be mounted on this. Originally, this was just for the reflector, so, it wasn't meant to hold a lot of weight. And as you can tell, this is a pretty thin piece of metal. We'll check it out. It's about 1.6 millimeters, and I needed to fix this and find a better solution because I really like having LED pods on the bike, and I also really like where they are on the bike. It's pretty easy to adjust them, and I also just like the look of them. And I think I found a better solution as far as mounting these lights, so let me show you guys. So as you can tell, originally I have it on the bracket just like this, and then it mounts to the rigid bracket here, and then the lights. And it's a little bit bouncy, it moves a little bit, especially off-roading, and I wanted to fix that. So over here, I'll bring the camera so you guys can see, I mounted it much closer to the headlights, and it's much sturdier, and I'll show you guys how to do this. So the first thing I did is remove the light from the bracket itself, and these are just 13 millimeters, and this is gonna be a little bit tricky because the metal is broken, but that should do the trick. Comes right off, and if you did the same install and use the same lights like I did, you're not gonna be needing any of this hardware anymore. And now with a 12 millimeter, I'm gonna remove these two bolts here that holds the little reflector bracket. And this is also the lower triple tree bolts, so don't lose these because they are important. And remember to do one side at a time because this is what holds the shocks together, and it's best just to do one at a time so nothing gets out of whack or loosened up. So with this bracket removed, we're gonna be saving these bolts and the washers that are on them. And just taking a look here at the bracket, as you can tell, it snapped right in half. So we're gonna make sure that this doesn't happen again. All right, and the next step is to remove this bracket because this is the bracket that I'm gonna use for mounting the LED pod. And to do that, you just need your little Allen key. And actually, we'll do it like this. And it should loosen and come right undone. The next step is gonna be to put the bolts back into place. But before I do that, I'm gonna take a split washer and put it onto the bolt as well. And the reason is, without that split washer, the bolt will sit farther in the threads because it doesn't have this bracket. And the split washer is just about the same thickness as this bracket was. And I'm trying to keep it, as close to stock as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back into place. And hopefully that catches just about the same amount of threads as the original setup did. I'm trying not to alter it too much, so that should be good just like that. Now with your other bolts, I'm gonna be using just the washer that came with it. And I'm gonna be taking my Rigid Industries bracket and putting the bolts in and just threading it into place. And I'm gonna be having the bracket sit down like this, sloping downwards, because I think that will be the best setup for my lights. So it was a bit tricky to find the torque specs on these bolts, but I believe they are 17 foot-pounds. So taking your torque wrench, set it to 17 foot-pounds, and go ahead and tighten them back down. All right, and with those bolts torqued down properly, the next step is to reassemble the LED pod and put it back into place. And a good tip in doing this is put the bolt in first, partially, just so it gets through, and then you can kind of drop the little lock nut into place, and hopefully it stays. Because if you don't do this, it can be such a pain trying to get these lock nuts to stay in place. So just kind of back it out a little bit until the lock nut falls in, and then start to thread it on. Okay, and with them fairly snug, I'm just gonna feed the little wire here through the fin and then position the light just about where I'm gonna want it. And now I'll tighten it the rest of the way. And as you can tell, this is so much more secure than before. I wish I thought of this earlier, but I think it'll help out a lot and it'll definitely last a lot longer. And also another problem I had with the original mounting setup was they tended to move a lot, and especially off-road, you could really see the light bouncing up and down. But now they're so much more secure. I don't think they're going anywhere. I mean, I'm moving the whole bike. So this is gonna be a great setup, and let's hit the road and see how they do. All right, and I wanted to show you guys what these look like during the day. As you can tell, it's much closer to the headlight. It looks really good, and it's really streamlined in my opinion. Get a good angle for you guys. It looks pretty sweet, and they're super solid. And as you can tell, I have those marks there. I've been riding around a little bit, and they haven't moved at all, so I think they should be fine. I've put, let's see. I've put just about 4 miles on the bike since I installed them, and they've been fine. So obviously we're gonna ride it a lot more and test it, but I think they'll be totally fine. All right, so I'll turn these suckers on to show you what they look like. I have a tripod set up over yonder. Let's check them out. Put this down. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little better. And we'll pull over here again real quick because I also wanted to show you how to adjust them, which I'm sure you guys know, but just in case, I brought along my little Allen key. It's in my pocket here. Let's see if I can fish it out. So just with your Allen key, you're going to take it and loosen either side. You don't want to take the bolt out all the way, but just loosen it a little bit on both sides, and you can tilt them up or down. I recommend doing this on like a flat background, or a not background, like a backdrop, you know, either like a wall or something like that. And this just gives you the best, you know, visibility, so you can see exactly where they are. And just keep in mind, if you are going to be using these on the road, you know, try and be courteous. Try not to point them directly at the driver's faces. I know it can definitely be something you want to do, because these cages, man, they're out to get us. But you know, it's important to also let them be able to see you without blinding them. So, but anyways, I just wanted to show you that during the day. I will keep riding a little bit to make sure they are good, but I think they are. Let's hit this speed bump, get a little wheelie going. Or a little jump, not really a wheelie. All right, bye-bye. All right, so we're on the bike now. We're gonna pull into my local little park here and just check out the lights and see how we did. Wonder why there's so many people in this lot. It's like 9:30 at night, but oh well, I'm here. So all right, let's stop. So right now this is just the H4 bulb that's in the bike. I put it in. It's the H4 LED bulb. You can check out that video, but we're here to see the LED pods, so let's turn them on. So as you can tell, they are much brighter, basically just like before. They're a little closer together now, not so far apart. And to be honest, I kind of like that. It's more of like a driving beam and less of a flood. And for off-roading, these lights are so nice to have. And, you know, it just helps you see really, really well. And you don't have to worry about, you know, late night rides or anything like that. And also a great feature about where these are mounted is the adjustability. You can really adjust how high and low you want them. And it's so easy because all you need to do is loosen the Allen key bolt on the light and then just adjust it to whatever you like. So I'm gonna step off the bike here. We'll see if you guys can see it. I know at night with lights, it's always a little bit difficult on these cameras. This is my GoPro, but hopefully it picks it up. They're perfectly spaced apart. They're super bright. It's probably blinding you guys, but it looks really clean. And not gonna lie, I kind of like the setup better now. They're a little closer together, a little closer up to the headlight, and it just looks really streamlined and really, really nice. So let's go on the road and check them out to see if they vibrate at all. I'm hoping that they don't, because it seems like they're on there much more secure, but I guess there's only one way to find out. So they're a little bit high. I might have to adjust them, but they're not bad. And just to show you guys, that's with them off and that's on, so they really do make a big difference. So I'm doing 40 miles an hour right now, and they are not shaking at all. They look really nice and really planted. You know, on these back roads at night, you know, they can be pretty sketchy. Just the stock bulb or even this LED, it's not that bright, but you know, you have these LED pods and it makes a world of a difference. And hopefully you guys can hear me. My microphone has been a pain in the butt recently. I cleaned my cheek pads on the helmet, and ever since I just couldn't get the crisp audio quality that I was looking for, but hopefully today it is fixed. Now, I know there's a lot of videos online about where to mount the LED pods on your bike, and obviously this way is the way I ended up doing it, but you know, don't be afraid to test it out and trial and error, because you know, everyone's needs are a little bit different, and I like the lights a little closer together, but if you're doing more like slow technical off-road trails, you might want them farther apart, or like some sort of like fog pattern. How my lights are now, they're more kind of like a driving light almost. We'll go over here. Yep. Oh, it's so much nicer. So this literally took me like 5 minutes to do, you know, and that was with the LED pods already mounted, so I had to take them off and then remount them. But if it's your first time mounting your LED pods, you know, this will literally take you, you know, less than 5 minutes. It's so easy, and I highly recommend it. Just make sure to torque the bolts down properly, and you know, make sure they're seated nice and securely. I was a little bit skeptical because I know that this bracket's a little bit thicker, and I wasn't sure about that because I didn't want the bolt to sit farther out and have less thread grabbing you know, where it's supposed to. But after I measured it, it's really only like about 1.5 millimeters thicker, and it's just going to be a lot stronger, so I think it'll hold up better. And obviously I also marked them. I marked the bolts, so if they do start to come undone, I'll make sure to tell you guys, and also I'll be able to tell myself. Anytime you're working on your bike and installing new parts, it's a good idea to do that. And for example, with my handlebars, I also did that, and it's just a sense of security, really. And another great thing about how they're set up right now is because they're a lot closer and more flush to the bike, it's a lot less likely for them to get snagged up on something when you're off-roading, because you're constantly getting brushed up and, you know, slammed by tree branches and stuff. So I think they'll handle that a lot better. And also, if you do dump the bike, I think they'll be protected a lot more like that, you know, protected by the handlebars, and a lot less likely to get bent up. And even on Route 1 like this, you can really tell that they make a big difference, you know, seeing street signs and stuff like that. You can see them a lot farther away. Oh, that was lucky. Full throttle. I'm just running to the gas station, gonna fill up my roto packs, and I'll also top off the bike while I'm at it. All right, we're here at the gas station, good old Mobil. Let's see. Wow, that's a full trash can. You ever not know where to go? We'll go to this one. Just getting some gas. Gonna put this over here. Gonna take my roto packs off. Put you on the ground. I put the medium stuff. Put the extra stuff. Put that on the ground. Fill her up. Okay. Try not to drip too much. Put some in the bike. Doo-doo-doo. I'm talking to myself. I know, I'm weird. Don't mind me. That should be good. Alright, $6.83. No receipts. Let's put this back together. Try not to splash too much gasolina. Alright. Put this back on the bike. Nice and secure. Now let's get this. So much work. Not really. Rotopacks is so easy, and I don't even fill it up that often. Now let me get my stuff that I've put here on the ground. My tripod should be secure. Let's roll. Where are my gloves? Put my gloves back on, put my gloves back on. Okay, zip you back up. Let's go. Doo-doo. Hello. And goodbye. Doo-doo-doo-doo. We'll wait for this person, because I don't want to get run over. We'll go left here. And then we'll go right here. It's nice riding at night because there's nobody out on the roads except for that guy, but it's okay, he had LED pods too. Oh boy, I almost forgot to set my trip. Boom. That's very important on the T-dubs. You know, we don't have a gas gauge or nothing like that, so you got to make sure you're counting your miles. So right below us is I-95, and I'll actually pull over to show you guys. I'm not going to hop that curb because it's really big. Actually, can't do that on the Ducati. Let's try and get into neutral. There we go. I'll shut her off for a second and listen to the hustle and bustle of the I-95, Interstate 95. This is where I did my top speed run on the T-dubs. Obviously not an ideal place for this little bike. These people, as you can tell, are flying. They do 80 miles an hour at least on this road. That guy's doing a lot more than that. And not a great place for the T-dubs. I wouldn't recommend the T-dubs for a highway bike anyway, but just thought I'd show you guys. Pretty cool. Like to look over and just watch cars go by. Not bad. We'll turn the bike on. There's just the headlight. Turn those LED pods on. Damn, looks good. Looks a lot better. I like it. So I just did a little drive-by on my GoPro. Hopefully it came out good. That's basically all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you found it helpful. It was a wake-up call when that bracket broke for me, but you know what? I'm happy it did because now I can relay the message to you guys so you guys don't make the same mistake I did. Obviously, if I have any problems with this setup, I'll make sure to update you, but I think it'll definitely last a lot longer. Pull over here and do my outro. Reserved parking for me. Back it up. If I back it up, is it fat enough? I got my GoPro and the tripod on there. Don't mind that. It's on there nice and secure. It's not sketchy at all. We'll turn on these LED pods. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. And you know, you live and you learn was my last title, and it's definitely true in this case. I thought it was going to be good with the mounting setup that I had originally, but obviously it needed some adjustments. I'm really happy with how this setup came out, and to be quite honest, I think I like it more than the original setup. You know, obviously that's just opinion, but I like how close it is to the headlight. It just looks really, really good. And I hope you guys like the new logo and the new intro. That's going to be the logo from now on. I know I've been bouncing around a lot with these logos, and I apologize, but I think I'm finally settling on this logo. I was talking with my family and friends, and we all kind of agreed that the channel, even though it's definitely more off-road oriented, to be honest, I don't ride off-road as much as I would like, so I wanted something a little more urban, a little more like kind of younger and unique and fresh. So I ended up going with the logo that you saw earlier. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If I have any problems or anything like that, I'll make sure to update you. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know where to leave them down below comment section. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching and ride safe.